Boy Laughers and May looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy. And of course, I'm joined with the one and only Tori. How you doing today, my guy?
You already know. It's your local neighborhood scumbag here to give the folks their daily dose of dirtbag. Same gimmick, different day. You
Certain
already know.
parts, yeah, certain parts Tori gonna love today. Of course, we talking about AEW interim titles and
Blech.
are they hurting the company? Also, we're gonna go over that. We also gonna go over some, of course, some of rumored ticket sales lately.
Oof.
And we're gonna go over today is the 10th anniversary of the Shield. We're gonna have a lot of discussion on that.
R.I.P.
And of course, last but not least, a lot of talk about WrestleMania 39. A lot of pictures has been shown, a lot of rumors, legends galore, everything going on. We got a lot to talk
Stone
about
Cold
to it.
coming back, y'all. Watch.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it. It's Shield Day tour.
It is.
10 years ago today, they helped CM Punk by beating up the internet's favorite son, Ryback.
Yep. He should have retired then after he went through that table.
He better have been stayed off social media. He would probably be a legend.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. People
Do you think
seem to like
Ryback
these people.
Do you think Ryback was actually good in the ring though? Because
He was absolutely atrocious, but
I
Hulk
was about to
Hogan
say-
was atrocious too, and people loved him.
Yeah, but Hulk Hogan had charisma. At least 80s charisma. Fucking Ryback didn't even have early 2000s charisma.
Hey, people like Braun Strowman and except for the internet community, and
Braun Strowman at least got a little bit of personality.
he does, but he's got beef too. But Ryback, like, do y'all want me back? Even his own
Fuck
fan base,
no.
80% said no. I'm like, bro, these are your fans.
Think the only Ryback matches you can remember are the ones. The only Ryback match I remember is the one where it hurt CM Punk. That is literally that. If you were to ask me, and that's the fucked up part is I watched wrestling faithfully these last 20 years. So I was watching wrestling when Ryback was in his prime, and I still don't. I'm gonna take Umaga over Ryback any day if we're talking just beasts of the early 2000s. Ryback wasn't all that.
Umaga was amazing.
Yeah.
But
As all Anawais are once they get into wrestling, they're just automatically fucking amazing.
we do gotta talk about today because Corey Graves did say something about Usos today that I thought was very interesting. So we're gonna go over that.
Oh, okay. I didn't see this. I wasn't lurking on Twitter hard enough, apparently.
Yeah, Twitter mostly was telling them that it was the end of Twitter. So
Oh yeah, I saw so many people getting off their last minute horny posts because they thought it was the last one they were going to get, and now you all look wild with a bunch of deleted and edited tweets. That's why I just kept it business as usual. I'm gonna share some porn. I'm gonna talk crazy to some people. I'm gonna keep it moving. It's Twitter. Don't take it that seriously.
Yeah, Black Twitter was on and it was hilarious. Like who gonna? I saw one of Ray J said they said who's gonna sing at Twitter's funeral from Black Twitter. They had Ray J.
Damn, that'd be a.
When he had a little son
as long as he does better than the verses. As long as
that's the one they showed. They said he's gonna do it with the baby
too. Damn.
Like
at least it's not Omarion. Keep that nigga away.
But yeah, 10 years. I do remember the match when the Shield came, so I remember that match with him, even though that was also with CM Punk.
Yeah.
So most of just remember him with CM Punk.
CM Punk was instrumental in that part in WWE history. Like, just his influence while he was there from, what was it, like 2012 to 16, some shit like that, 10 to 15, 11 to however long he was there.
You know, Vince actually showed him a lot of love. He was the champion for almost 400 days.
Bruh, he licensed Cult of Personality for him. You listen to any old wrestler talk about Vince, and that nigga was, even though he was instrumental in the MTV wave in the late 80s, that nigga was not paying to license no fucking music. It wasn't happening. You
He
bet,
did it
nigga,
for
you
Snoop.
better go to that nigga that makes the tracks in the back in the truck. If you want some music.
If he gave you an official song, who are the people that would get an official song?
Ramus. Well,
Triple
no.
A.
How many of them really got official songs though? Because most of those songs of our favorites were on a WWE CD, so I'm pretty sure he owned the rights to those songs.
But
So
there was a few that Triple H song, the
because
one he had.
Motorhead wrote
Yeah.
Triple H, R.I.P. Remy, but Lemmy.
And then you got the Keep Rolling, but we know he loved the
Yeah,
Undertaker.
I
So
was
Limp
gonna say
Bizkit, you did not, you don't own Limp Bizkit.
Undertaker is Vince's low key right hand man.
Stone Cold song was made by them, and the
Yeah,
Rock song was made by
it was
them. So they can
breaking glass, and then the fucking I was gonna say hit the drum pad afterwards.
The Rock song was simple as "If You Smile."
I mean, wasn't it his voice though? So the Rock damn near sung his own song, wasn't it
You know what I'm
him? If
saying?
you smell, I was gonna say Vince was cheap as fuck when it came to music.
One
Rey
step is all
Mysterio.
was Triple H, but then he gave him what's the name?
I'm
So
trying to think. It's actually there's not a lot of people I feel like that Vince actually licensed music for because
Roman
like
Reigns don't got his own license song. That is a clear video
yeah,
game
but
beat that they made themselves.
Roman don't need it though.
Yeah.
Roman's aura, you just need that little background track. I'm just glad
Oh.
they took him away from the Shield music because I got so tired of hearing that fucking beat.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else. I heard
There
voices in my head. They made
there
that, but
aren't a lot of people.
he got called a personality.
What about No Too Cool did their own song, didn't they?
Yeah, it's not many. So the fact
They're
that he got
real,
his own song is love.
but you got to think about the wave he was coming off of Ring of Honor when he got into WWE. Like he was legitimately the hottest thing in wrestling. Arguably, he's still the hottest thing in wrestling, contrary to Tony.
I don't know if he was the hottest, but he was alternative to John Cena. That would always felt
Bro,
like he was. He was the alternative to John
okay,
Cena.
listen, we can't compare everything. John Cena is a different level of star. I hate to say it, but
Yeah.
CM Punk was comparable at that point in
Yeah, he
time.
was the antithesis to John Cena. So he
Yes,
was like, oh, yeah.
he was the opposite of the company man that was going to smile and do everything that you needed him to. That's if we're gonna just to touch on a topic that we're gonna talk about later. Who's to say these low ass ticket sales ain't from niggas who are like, oh, we ain't finna get CM Punk no more. We're gonna get fucking. And I hate saying this because go back and check the record, people. I've talked favorably about Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks multiple times, but I don't know if they're an even trade for CM Punk. Like fan base wise, numbers wise, draw wise, I don't know if the three of them together are better than CM Punk.
But the thing about that is, every time CM Punk have a match, he almost got hurt. So how much?
Yeah. But I
So
mean, and it's
I'm like,
fucked up because look at Sting.
I can hear
Sting is
you,
60
Jared.
and still taking dives like that.
Jared, can we hear you?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
I'll mute it. But is that the AEW style? Because it seems like a lot of WWE wrestlers who wrestle full time went to AEW, and every last one of them got hurt
Or fell off.
or fell off. Yeah.
Look at Keith Lee and Swerve, yo. I thought that was good. Well, I never thought that was going to be a good pairing, but they were both over enough that I felt like you could do one of those things like when we did the 2-man power trip. You throw Triple H and fucking Stone Cold together, that's just going to be a fucking amazing team that's going to be over. You know what I mean? 2-man power trip didn't even last that long. I still remember that shit.
To be
So
honest, I just won't swerve away from Keith Lee just so he can be a full-fledged heel.
I'm glad that Zelmay slowly turned on Keith Lee because he was a Keith Lee defender when this all started. But everyone's starting to see what I'm talking about.
I'm an Adam Cole stan, and I'm like,
Adam Cole fell off.
Yep.
And they don't even know when he's coming back. So prayers up to Adam Cole. I love Adam Cole, but I don't know what
bro,
AEW
he's
is doing
amazing.
with Adam Cole.
Adam Cole is forever modern day Shawn Michaels, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's great. And I hate to see it because of how good Adam's Cole run at NXT was better than anything the main roster was producing for a while.
It wasn't even damn near. During that point in time, NXT was consistently better than Raw or
Every
SmackDown
time.
during that whole period. Like when I mean, from the inception of fucking the United, I mean, just all of it, just everything. It felt like they were a cohesive unit. It was a roster that actually they were just trying to put on good wrestling match. It didn't feel like there were all these personal agendas like on the main roster in NXT back then. I mean, the Undisputed Era did come in and just jack all the gold, but that was an amazing storyline. The Summer of Gold was.
I feel like Triple H did an amazing job of making everybody gold simple. Like it was the Golden Prophecy. It was Keith Lee was glorious, and it was his deemed miracle that he's going to do this. Even Velveteen Dream, I know he had to think like you will acknowledge me.
Bro, he was so fucking good.
He was my favorite.
He was such a waste.
Gerald, it was so easy, Gerald. It was literally so. All he said was, "Aleister Black, you will acknowledge me." And that's all the storyline needed, Gerald.
But if he was
he kept ignoring him like you are not worth my time. It was so beautiful of a simple story.
But he was taking pictures of niggas junked in the bathroom, though. if you believe what EC3 says, you know that nigga's all about controlling his own narrative. So.
And then the scary thing is, soon as everybody wanted him back on Twitter, he go out there and punch police officers. I'm like,
yeah, nigga went got arrested. And then I'm like, what they said Ashante the Adonis went and bailed him out.
That's sad because he had 5 wrestlers on the main roster ready to face him: Kevin Owens, Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, Cena, and Edge. All said they want to face Velveteen Dream. He literally had.
Bruh, he was just amazing.
Gerald just muted.
Gerald, I think you're.
I keep muting my clicker, but he was really good in the ring.
That nigga in the zone.
And I hate thinking about Velveteen because
it's such a waste.
It's one of the biggest way. Like he fumbled the biggest bag of all time.
Bruh, he could have been golden. Like, bruh, because he was amazing on the mic. He was amazing in the ring. He didn't overdo it.
Exactly.
I mean, but in the end, he did overdo it, and that's why we're having this conversation.
Yep. Sadly, yeah, he did.
But I think there's always room for a redemption arc. Go hit the indies again. I'll watch him wrestle, bro.
Well, he almost had it when everybody wanted him back, and then he kind of screwed it up again.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying. Like it was actually Twitter trending right now.
If he wouldn't have done that, Vince was going out the door too. There's no way Triple H doesn't bring back an image clean freaking Velveteen Dream. There's no way he doesn't bring that back.
But then he did 2 arrested twice. But
he got arrested like twice in a month.
Yeah. Let's get back to the Shield.
Yeah.
The Shield, 10 years ago today, Gerald, they showed up. They slammed Ryback through a table. That's how we kind of got off track. We were talking about CM Punk and Ryback.
Yeah.
but they slammed him through a table. And if I told you 10 years later that one is the main event of Raw every week, one is the leader of the whole industry, basically, and the other one is the leader of AEW.
Which is significantly less than the other two.
But if you go back to his last speech on that he said, people say he couldn't lead a company, and he did. So he basically proved his last thing. Like if anybody tell you what you can't do, you can do it.
But he also forgot when the pay-per-view was.
He said Saturday, Sunday.
He said, "Is this Saturday?" At least MJF was kosher. Face MJF was nice enough to at least tell him it's Saturday. It's tomorrow, so we'll
but most of the pay-per-views are Sunday, so it's very interesting anyway.
It is weird that what, as our resident sports experts, what is happening on Sunday to where Tony Khan would move a pay-per-view from primetime Sunday with no WWE competition to a random Saturday, or is it just that makes sense to me.
That's the biggest thing because 30 million people watched Dallas versus the Packers.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
I know a million of them wouldn't go back and watch either pay per view, either wrestling or either WWE or AEW. So
Yeah.
likely get that out there. Saturday you could stay up longer. Saturday they can have more. Like you can be at B Dubs watching WrestleMania night one. Just
True
things like
that. Okay, I was
that.
just wondering because it seemed really weird because Sunday just sort of seems like a set in stone pay per view day for me, especially
Yeah.
when you're
Like
they're
WWE
doing it.
completely got away from
Yeah,
Sunday because they're like, hey, listen, football on, football
yeah,
game.
but WWE's got a lot more wiggle room with their
But there,
fan
yeah.
base than AEW does. As
That
like
is.
I said, especially as current numbers are telling us that AEW fans, y'all got to kick it up a notch. Y'all making shit look horrible.
Yeah. That
Um,
crowd was terrible.
It was bad, and my
it
match of
wasn't
the week
bad as
was
Raw
my
crowd,
match.
but
Which
that Monday
Raw
Night
crowd
Raw
was
crowd
that?
2 weeks
Which Raw
ago,
was
2
it?
weeks
That
ago,
quiet?
that crowd was
Ooh, that
dead,
crowd was
dog. The
terrible.
Usos and New Day gave me a
Was
great
it?
promo.
I
I'm
don't know
talking
if it
about
was
top
that.
notch.
I don't
No,
know if it
it
was
was
that. Was it?
torrid.
It was bad.
Usos and New Day gave a fire promo on how
I
they
mean,
did
y'all
all
know
this
how
and that, and
fast
how they
forward through shit.
Usos said, New Day, if I didn't, it would be no Kofi Mania if we didn't forfeit. And all them lines, and they didn't make a noise. It wasn't a peep. I said, this crowd is dead.
Where were they at though?
A
Yeah.
trash, but I think they was in like some Oklahoma, Kansas, somewhere,
Oh, see,
Kentucky, somewhere like that. But
it said something more about AEW because they were in fucking Connecticut, weren't they?
at least
That,
at least
that's a
WWE crowd
red.
was filled though. It was like a field arena of empty people. At least AEW got an excuse that it wasn't filled.
Yeah, but is that the excuse you want? I'd rather a dead full house than a fucking live quarter house.
It sounded terrible though,
Yeah.
boy. I tell you that
It did.
both
And there were
crowds was
the fucked
better.
up thing is there were some good matches on Dynamite this week. There were some really good matches on Dynamite this week. I'll talk about it later, but it was just the crowd was kind of not even kind of the crowd was trash, which like I said, maybe that's a testament to the WWE stranglehold in the Northeast.
And that's exactly what I was about to say, Tori. I think that may be a Connecticut thing because
I was about to say we ain't gonna act like the headquarters ain't goddamn a few
right,
hundred miles
right
away
there.
or some shit.
Right.
They said the ticket sale this week wasn't that good either, but we'll talk about that later.
They ain't get shit but hate watchers.
um, but
I
yeah,
gotta quit hating on AEW so much. I sound like a hating ass nigga. I like AEW. I like some of the wrestlers on AEW. Tony Khan just be fucking shit up for me. But as you were saying, Zelman.
yeah. It's the Shield. They had the leader of the top. People said what would they rate? Would they rate them as a top faction? The Bloodline ahead of them. I'm sorry, New Day ahead of them.
Facts.
Me and
I
Tori were
agree
just
with
on
that.
Twitter.
I was
They
about to say
they only was together for a year and a half, bro.
It was an impactful. It was an impactful year, though. They
It
did a
was
lot.
they did a lot.
They got a lot of rubs, though. If we're gonna
A
be
lot.
for real,
They
they got the John Cena rub. They got the Chris Jericho
The
rub.
Rock
Whatever.
rub,
That ain't
the
the
Undertaker
Rock.
rub.
Exactly.
Evolution.
They threw
Fact.
everybody
I didn't
through
even
the
think about evolution, bruh. Right
To
before
be,
Ric Flair really quit.
I'm still mad about that run because soon as the Shield got over,
They broke
they
him up.
they broke them up. The
Poor.
Evolution, it was right after Evolution. The crowd was so hot. 3 weeks before, Jared, a month before, they had a thing with the Wyatt family when they were sitting on there, and everybody was the crowd was going crazy.
That
when
was one of the best feuds of the last 10 years was the Wyatts versus the Shield.
It was amazing.
Beautiful.
And they ended it like a month later.
No build, no preamble, no foreplay.
They
They
just
barely
ended
got
it.
off.
But they needed their main eventers too, though, because that was around the time CM Punk left, and they was doing all of this, trying to transition. Triple H wasn't no spring chicken. Batista was about to be on his way out. Randy couldn't really carry it, so I mean, it was understandable. It just sucked because, like, if you throw the Shield in there now with all of these factions that's going on, it would be beautiful.
Imperium versus Shield would go crazy.
That would be that's a classic that will never happen. But I fantasy booked the shit out of an Imperium versus Shield feud. Nigga,
Yeah.
fill a notebook on those angles.
Undisputed Era Shield.
Oh,
Bruh, Undisputed Era versus bro.
More New Day versus Shield, the Wyatt versus
of
Shield. They had
course.
a lot they could have did, but we never really. I don't even think we really got a New Day Shield thing because they was mostly baby facing when they were hot.
I was gonna say they were on the same side of the coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
They had a bunch of. They did have a rub. They had a lot of rubs. Like I said, they went through the Undertaker, Cena, Triple H. They were both for the most of their whole run. They were mostly just hitmen for hire.
They really were. But that's what made them. That's what made it so
Yeah,
good. They were the dogs of war. Them niggas was pulling up wherever, and they were gonna triple power bomb you and then walk out.
Double triple
Exactly.
power bomb.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I am for the
Roman Reigns
champ.
gonna get up on the turnbuckle. Dean and fucking Seth are gonna lift you up and put you into this nigga's arms while he's on the second rope, and he is going to power bomb you.
Ooh, and hot tag Seth. Jared, hot tag Seth was different.
He was nice.
Yeah.
And they all had their own style. Like I seen Dean Ambrose as the talker at first, didn't know that Seth and Roman
Yeah, Seth.
but when Seth started finding himself, after he broke up from them, that's when I'm like, okay, yeah, he has the career.
Yeah, bro.
Like, he was a hot tag specialist.
Seth, I don't care what nobody says. Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar's original feud for the Universal title is forever one of my favorite feuds.
That
Like,
true.
And
that
that triple
shit
threat
so
with
underrated,
was cool.
bro.
Oh, Gerald, when they would fight, who were they wrestling? It was the Wyatt family. They hot tag Seth would come and just flip.
Oh yeah, that's the Wyatt family. Mm-hmm.
Well, he would just come in and flip 40 times, and then he just hot tag Seth would be going. He take it
But
off.
that feud was so good too because of how good. I mean, the Wyatt family had their charisma, but Luke Harper was so underrated. He could do quite
any
a bit.
any big man that could move like he fucking moved. I mean,
nice.
R.I.P. Brody Lee. Like,
honestly, like it was just great, and the Shield loved facing him. The crowd, they wouldn't even fight, and the crowd was like, "This is awesome!" Like that's
he was also one of Tony Khan's only decent bookings.
Bray do this little thing with his head and start running around and just in a circle in the ring, and Roman them just sit in the circle like and stare at him, and then the crowd just lose it. Nothing even happened.
It's a testament to Brody Lee that he is literally one of Tony Khan's only good bookings that he had in early AEW. That whole angle, the Dark Order, if Brody Lee would have never died, Dark Order we might talk about them like they were an actual faction worth talking about.
I would have put that title on him, and it's no doubt to me. And the more I'm thinking about it, if Brody Lee would have stayed in AEW, Bray Wyatt probably would have went to AEW.
That very well could have been a possibility. Way more so if he was alive than him not being. I still don't know if Bray Wyatt would have worked in AEW, but there definitely would have been a better chance of him showing up.
Yeah.
One thing I liked about the Shield too was you never knew who the leader was. Like they never had a leader. Mm-hmm. At one point, I thought it was Dean because, like Gerald said, he was a talker.
It felt like it.
But then at a certain point, Seth started like telling people to do, and then Roman there.
Your leader can't have a widow's peak, though. Your leader can't have a widow's peak, so Dean was never going to be the leader, bro. Ain't nobody following that nigga with the widow's peak.
He was Vegeta, but then Seth started doing stuff. And then Seth started doing like he started leading, and then when it was the Wyatt family, Roman was leading. So I'm like,
but we can't act like we knew Seth before Seth even got to WWE. Nigga, we knew he was gonna be something amazing. Go and watch fucking Tyler Black versus fucking Adam Cole in Ring of Honor or in Dragon Gate or any time. Go watch Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega versus Tyler Black. One of the best triple threat matches ever. Mm-hmm. Period. Dot. Yeah. We knew that when he got to the big stage, he was gonna blow. That whole run as Tyler Black was some of the best indie wrestling ever.
He was more charismatic. He became more charismatic than I thought he was gonna be, though. I'm not gonna.
Oh yeah, because he was way more militant in the Tyler Black.
Yeah,
which is
I always thought he was gonna be Will Ospreay. Like if you asked me 10 years ago who was Tyler Black was, I'm like Will Ospreay. Like
yeah.
What Will Ospreay?
Original Will Ospreay when he was the aerial assassin before he went and I don't know what he did to
but he
buff
didn't
up.
really
But
talk. He did a bunch of weird dances, swinging his arms around like a little. Like I don't know if this dude charisma gonna make it, but he's gonna wrestle good.
And
Jeff
see, and
Hardy, maybe. Like that's the limit. I thought he was gonna be. I thought he was gonna be Jeff Hardy. Let me just be honest.
and then, bro, he got the
Jeff Hardy a Hall of Famer, so that is not a bad thing to be.
He got to Florida Championship Wrestling. They transitioned into NXT, and fucking he just, I mean, but we got to remember he also had Dusty Rhodes in his ear. You know what I mean? Like if there's anybody that's gonna make it to where you can really capture the audience like that, it's the son of a fucking plumber, bro.
Yeah.
I don't even like 80s wrestling, and I fuck with some Dusty feuds. I ain't even gonna stunt. Him and Ric Flair, like, bruh, that shit's amazing. So Seth had a lot of advantages that a lot of niggas wouldn't have, but if he didn't have the talent to utilize them, we wouldn't be talking about him. He's one of the best in the world for a reason.
He is. What's crazy about the Shield was at one point they was all equal because Dean Ambrose was the talker. He was the one that was talking the most. Seth had the in-ring ability. Roman had the look.
Yep.
And that's the way we saw them. When you looking at today, you know, Seth, I think he's all around package. He
is.
Roman is the all around package. Like
gold
he can
standard.
do everything. Right there. Yeah, he's gold. And Dean is AEW's version of all around package.
I guess.
I mean, that's
it's him and Chris Jericho. They basically lead.
Listen, we can give it to Mox. We can give it to Mox because I don't want to talk about Chris Jericho.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie though. This run until recently, to the last 2 weeks, that run was really good. He's been on.
Who?
We ain't
Chris
talking
Jericho?
about commentary.
This run against the Blackpool Combat Club has been good.
It run this course,
bruh.
But it went too long. That's it. Or before it just kept going over and over again.
What are the most
him beating till Colt Cabana, him beating all the ROH legends.
That don't even count as part of the fucking. That don't even count as part of the fucking feud.
I'm talking about the run he on. I said the run he's on.
Fuck that run. Chris Jericho is garbage.
Tor, you sound like an AEW.
I can't help it. Maybe I hate AEW. Maybe I hate AEW. I don't though. I don't.
No, break the time, was it not good to Colt Cabana part after you wrestled? Was it not good?
You liked him taking the ROH title off of Claudio. You thought that was good?
The storyline, I enjoy the storyline.
What part of it?
He's going to destroy everything about ROH, and then they kind of got lost in it, and now he's not even doing it no more.
Facing bullshit ROH champions.
So they got it roster.
Nigga, don't nobody want to see Colt Cabana, bro.
I said till after they got in the ring, because I enjoyed him coming out, but after it's kind of like, okay, this is
bro, I hate it because I liked Chris Jericho. I can name any number of Chris Jericho.
So him and Bandito wasn't a good match. It wasn't fun.
I didn't. Oh, see, fuck you. Okay, him and Bandito was better than it had it.
Him and Claudio wasn't.
That was Bandito. That was Bandito carried that shit. Claudio carried the other match.
I forgot his name. The other guy with the peacock. That wasn't a good match.
Oh,
I keep
Dalton Castle?
Yeah, that was a good match, wasn't it?
Dalton Castle carried that shit.
So this run all of a sudden is getting better than when I mentioned, but as long as you go before Colt Cabana. Once he got the Colt Cabana, this thing don't went out of hinges. But before that, it was good story.
Jericho is just stale to me, bro. He's been there so long now and just hasn't taken a break. Like, the last time I was excited for Chris Jericho is when he did his little half run as the return into the Painmaker. And that's just because him versus Naito and New Japan was actually the last time Chris Jericho looked super amazing. Or him versus Okada. Yeah. He was fat when AEW first started.
Yeah, but he got in shape now, so thank you.
It still looks weird.
What's been my problem is, especially just, I mean, I'm always going to be partial to Chris Jericho because of what he done in WWE, outside WWE and NATO. I really.
Oh yeah, Chris Jericho's a legend. I mean, I'm not going to argue against that.
Yeah. Just keep
on commentary. That's all I want.
And I'm with you, Tori, because after he beat Claudio, what's happened to Claudio?
Nothing. He is sitting in this stable
That I don't
with
really
Wheeler
care for.
Yuta.
Yeah.
And I love, man, I hate, why do I sound like a hating ass nigga? I fuck with Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta is an amazing young wrestler. He's got all the skills. He deserves, I didn't like that they took the ROH Pure Championship off of Wheeler Yuta and put it on Daniel Garcia. I
I
didn't
got a
fuck
lot
with
of
that.
questions about it. It seems like when people get hot in AEW, they cool them off.
Look at
Immediately.
Wardlow. Look at Wardlow.
They be
This
hot.
nigga, bruh, he had all the heat in the world. He was over like fucking God. And now, I mean, we couldn't even get hype off of what could be an amazing triple threat with him and Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs. We all know Powerhouse Hobbs is the future. I wish that his AEW contract would come up and he would go over to WWE because,
Oh, he would be.
bruh, he would be so amazing.
He got such swagger.
Bruh, think about Powerhouse Hobbs versus fucking Braun Breaker, bro. Think about that fucking match.
It'd be nice. And I don't see anybody in NXT on Braun's level. Powerhouse Hobbs would immediately be on his level.
Exactly. You could take him and put him immediately at the top, and fucking no one could argue with it because he's got that kind of star power. I really feel like Powerhouse Hobbs. If somebody would just book him fucking right, this kid would be over the fucking moon.
Hey, can I say this though? But since the change over from the colorful stuff after the first week was trash. After NXT has been really good. When they integrated the UK
I'm gonna take
people,
your word for it. I'm gonna take
when they integrated the UK people, JD has a match of the week candidate every week. Him and Apollo Crews was amazing this week.
I like the
Him and Axiom when he heard him the week before.
I watched the match. I'm not sure when it was. I think it was last week, but I saw a tag team match with the Grizzled Young Veterans. They're part of whatever it is with Joe Gacy and The Rock's daughter. I saw a tag match with them, and they still look fucking amazing.
That match was good too.
Grizzled Young
I hate
Veterans
they use
are such
Ava
a good
Rain
tag
to just
team.
be like Rhea Ripley. I'm like, she's a carbon copy of Rhea Ripley right now.
They're gonna fuck it up. That's why I'm not watching. Let her. They can fuck her up all they want while she's down there on NXT because I'm not seeing it. Just make sure you got it worked out by the time she hits the main roster, and I gotta watch her.
Bro, you can't
5
be
hours
Rhea
every
Ripley.
week.
Rhea Ripley already doing this gimmick. You can't do the same.
I think Toxic Attraction should come up.
Bruh, it's time for Mandy Rose to come back too. You could put her in one of these feuds for either title right now, bro. She's over. She's gotten so. I feel like every time we bring up Mandy Rose, I'm just sucking her fucking dick about how much better she's gotten.
I mean, she's gotten a lot better. I mean, she's still one.
Thunder Rosa gave her a shout out today.
Yeah, fuck Thunder Rosa though. I wish that fucking they just strip her of the fucking title.
We're gonna talk about that shortly after, but let's finish the Shield talk a little bit.
Yeah.
But they are the leaders in the industry right now.
They are
and
the three of them.
If you say individually who had the best group, they up there. Like not as a faction, like I said, the faction ended quickly. But if you just say individually success,
oh, bro, they're NWA level. If we're talking about that,
that's what I'm saying.
Easy.
Their evolution level. When I think about it, they was really.
I can't put anybody on DX level because DX is forever the best faction of all time, just because they helped shape my childhood. But they're up there, bro. The Bloodline. Give me another year. The Bloodline have an amazing stories. I might put them on the same level as DX, but I have bias towards DX. So I mean,
Bloodline. If they finish the storylines off with Sammy right and don't ruin it, oh my god,
it can be amazing.
Storyline alone, I'd put that title on Sammy.
But I
think he's gonna get one title. I don't know which title it's gonna be. We're gonna go over that too. We're gonna go over the WrestleMania.
I'm just worried that they put the Universal title is a lot to put on somebody that hasn't had any experience. And Sammy is amazing, but I don't think Sammy's ever been the WWE or Universal Champion. He's been Intercontinental, and I think he's been US, and I know they've had tag champs, but
he was
the NXT champion too. So.
Yeah, like I wouldn't put the main title on him, but just how the storyline is.
But what's the point in the story if you can't put the big belt on him? This is a big belt worthy story.
But you can say his beef is more with Jey Uso So taking the tag titles off them
bro, it's
could
got to
be
be no. If it doesn't lead back to Roman in the end, they wasted this because Roman has been on the most amazing run ever, and he
But
deserves a
you
payoff.
also got the problem
He
with Cody
deserves
Rhodes.
a
You
pay.
want that stuff too?
Bro, at this point, I don't give a fuck who. As long as Cody gets the belt, it doesn't have to be from Roman. Cody versus Sami Zayn would be a fucking amazing match.
That'd be a hump.
That would be a sick match. I would watch that match. I might even pay for it. That's a lie. But I'd still watch it.
Can we talk about how SmackDown has been the best show and it's not even close? It's like it's by far the best wrestling show on TV, and it's not close. Raw has a horrible Raw 2 weeks ago, and they had a decent one this week. AEW has a good show, and then a bad show, then a good show. SmackDown consistent. This tonight we got Mustafa Ali versus Ricochet. You know what that match is gonna do?
That's gonna be a banger, no matter what.
Like, are we gonna pretend like this match?
Two
not
of the
be
most
amazing?
underrated wrestlers in the WWE are about to go out there and show the fuck out. And Triple H booked them amazing in NXT, so he knows what they're both. Ricochet and Mustafa Ali.
Oh, they about to.
They in the World Cup. They doing the World Cup tournament tonight.
And I think this world. I thought the whole World Cup gimmick was corny at first, but if they can do a tournament better than AEW, I'm here for it.
And the winner of the tournament get a shot at Gunther. So
that's how important this Triple H is.
And that makes sense though, because a World Cup for the Intercontinental Championship that tracks for me. It doesn't have to be for the Universal Championship.
Then we got the Brawling Brutes versus the Usos, and you know that's gonna go.
That's gonna be fire no matter what. I just wish. Can Pete Dunne get his name back? Triple H but you've been in power for a while now. You gave Tommaso his first name back. You gave Austin Theory his first name back. Why is Pete Dunne still booked?
But technically, according to Pete Dunne, he got his name, but it's what's his nickname?
Oh,
I thought it was gonna be Pete Dunne versus Sammy tonight.
Is it? I thought.
I'm here for that match.
I was thinking about that
match. I am here for that all fucking day.
It doesn't matter which one it is. Let me see what's
either one of those are gonna be fire matches.
Who's on SmackDown tonight?
I'm not gonna stunt though. I'm excited for Ricochet versus fucking Mustafa Ali because they're both so underrated but so amazingly good. And people might think this is blasphemous, but I think you could compare both of them to a fucking younger Rey Mysterio, and you wouldn't be fucking overselling it, in my opinion. Like, they're both that fucking good. Will Ospreay versus Ricochet is forever in my top 10 matches of all time, and the fucked up thing is, you can pick any one of the 4 times that they had matches against each other. All 4 of them top tier. So
yeah, it's right. It's Pete Dunne, Sami Zayn. I was looking at another.
That's gonna be a banger.
That's gonna be wild.
We also got Shotzi versus Shayna. As long as it ain't Ronda involved, I do not.
Man, I love Shotzi so much, but we know she's about to lose to Shayna.
Well, she's going up for the championship, so she might win.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she's a
she is her and Ronda.
Is she? Okay.
Man.
Ronda, why can't she just be good all around?
I'm mad that she was actually good in 2018 and now she's a horrible.
Bruh, I agree wholeheartedly.
It might be because she got pregnant though. Now she's more scared to do stuff.
Be careful. Don't want to blame it on pregnancy. That could sound.
I'm just saying because I know you might want to be more. You remember my beef? My thing about Ronda is now she looks like she's scared to take moves.
You were coming too close to my gimmick. I'm the misogynist. Okay, if we were embarking on gimmick infringement. So I was trying to do it subtly. You wouldn't allow it though. So let me go ahead and be the one to say Ronda Rousey got trash after she had a baby.
Say that.
But
is it because she had a baby though?
No, the reason she's strong is because she's scared to take moves now compared to 2018 when she was actually take moves.
I don't
Go
know.
Look at her last match, Gerald, and she was like when she did that little back press for Liv Morgan, she was like hesitant.
But this is the same Ronda that they were saying that wasn't she just saying that she was trying to use thumbtacks in their match? So is she really that scared if she's trying to fucking get juice on?
The ideals is different than actually going out and doing.
Because after she left the last time, she got a sour taste from
how the fans shit on her.
Exactly. And now it's just like why?
I mean, we know how the internet wrestling community is. We're a part of it. You know how toxic it is. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, and then SmackDown got LA Knight
Let's fucking go,
Bray Wyatt, and
bro. I'm so fucking. I'm not gonna lie. I am so hyped for that. But I need Bray to actually start saying something though. Like they got to have him wrestle because as much as I love Bray Wyatt, as amazing as he is on the mic, he's showing that he's amazing at talking in circles right now. Like it all sounds amazing. I know, but I'm ready to see him in the ring. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, yeah,
like we've seen.
But at least we got his opponent now.
So. He's gotten buffer, and like that's an amazing first opponent. Like they could. LA Knight is, I mean, ever since he was Eli Drake, I've said that this dude has the fucking juice,
he has a lot of,
and it's just good to see him use it. Of course, he's going to be fodder, but I think they should. But should Bray's first match back be a squash, or should it be like a long slog fight? Like I feel like he should get from LA Knight. I don't feel like Bray Wyatt.
It's going to be a pay-per-view match, so it's going to be Triple H ain't really did squash his pay-per-view matches. Like,
yeah, but you don't think that he shouldn't come back and just dominate for a little bit?
Get some squashes in.
I don't think he need to be against the first pay-per-view opponent. He could just wrestle some random dude.
Yeah, but it's looking like he's not even going to have a match before the pay-per-view.
All I know is, listen, Unstoppable Bray Wyatt turned into something that we probably didn't help nobody. So I don't know if we should do.
Yeah, that's why I'm withholding my hype, because I feel like as hyped as we got about The Fiend is the reason why they felt okay about burning him alive on Christmas Eve and expecting us to take it seriously.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I'm willing to give this criticism now, though.
Cult leader Bray Wyatt lasted a lot longer because he was a human being. Fiend Bray Wyatt, you started off with him basically getting.
It was an amazing gimmick, though. It felt like the second coming of the Undertaker, and
all I'm saying is
the Undertaker's the greatest wrestler ever, in my opinion.
Once you take one of the most devastating moves 14 times, and then get hit in the head with a sledgehammer without the hand being over, with a tool belt over your head, and you still kick out. Yeah, your character's kind of in the wrestling ring. How do you beat him?
Yeah, it was such a. First of all, we will never get over the fact. How the fuck did Seth Rollins get disqualified from Hell in the Cell? I watched the Undertaker almost murder Mick Foley. We watched him go off the cage, through the table, back into the ring, back on top of the cage, then get chokeslammed through the fucking cage. Bro.
Hey, he hit the man in the head with a sledgehammer bear over a toolbox. And I'm like, okay, this is too much.
And then got disqualified from Hell in a Cell. It was literally, like, that's the gimmick of the match, is that, nigga, this is as far as you can take it.
Yeah. When he kicked out of 14 curb stumps in a row, and I'm like, it wasn't even really 14. It was like 9. I'm like, this match, this getting out of hand. This gimmick too much. Who you gonna expect gonna beat him if he could take 14 curb stumps? Curb stump was
Roman Reigns. That's who. Or Goldberg. It was Goldberg. Spoiler.
He took one spur from Goldberg, but 14 curb stumps.
And don't forget, he took a whole 2 RKOs from Randy Orton from his final match before 1, 2, 3. We wish you well on your future endeavors.
I don't think he should do Invincible Bray Wyatt no more. I think
no. I don't think so either. But I just wonder if for him not coming back for these first matches, we know him as one of these dominant forces. Like there was a point in time where you put Bray Wyatt in the same room as Roman Reigns. I'm not saying he's there right now, but there was definitely a point in time where you could say Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns in the same sentence. No one's going to look at you crazy.
For a time, I wanted Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar.
Bro, that is forever. Gerald, you're a fucking genius, because that will forever be one of my fantasy booking dream matches that I have literally booked before going to bed multiple times about how Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt could, just from how simple Brock Lesnar is, how simple and straightforward he is, to how out there and eccentric Bray Wyatt is. I feel like it would be the perfect yin yang thing.
It would have been beautiful.
It would have been an amazing mix.
Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar was perfect
Still one of
build
my
up.
favorites.
And
Still one of my favorites.
We talk about that, and now this nigga is over here fucking as the ROH TV champion.
Yo,
Nigga,
that
ROH
man got in Paul
ROH is a
Heyman's face
skeleton
and doing
promotion.
random threats, dog. And I'm like, in his ear while the mic was there, like,
How did? But let me ask you guys this: how did we go? We all agree that when Wardlow first got the TNT title, after everything with MJF and Punk, this motherfucker was over like God. Agreed, at least with the AEW
yes,
crowd.
yes.
How do we not care about
Now
Wardlow
he's getting
versus
cheered
Samoa
and getting
Joe?
choked out.
He's getting knocked out with a single belt shot.
He's getting
This
choked out.
nigga,
The
I
crowd
watched this
clapping,
nigga
Gerald.
beat up 20 security guards at once. He beat up 20 security guards at one time. How did Samoa Joe take him out with one belt shot?
Hey,
How?
can we
How,
also talk about
Zelmay?
can we talk about
You
how
don't
that
got the
cool that
answers.
nobody has the answer. TK don't got the answer. But
Yeah, that's obvious.
hey, can we talk about how cool when Bobby Lashley got cut when he was doing all that to Seth and Austin Theory on how that was
Bruh.
cool? That cut looks cool on his chest right now. Like he's
It really
supporting his
does.
card.
It does. It gives you. It's got Mad Gladiator vibes. It
You know
feels
what I'm
like
saying?
this nigga's really in there to fucking wreck shit.
No, the way that man, I felt bad for Mustafa
Bobby
Ali. The way
Lashley's
that man,
super over with me right now.
He is. He's high on my list. Very,
the way
very
he
high
threw
on my list.
Mustafa Ali was hilarious to me. I know it kind
Hey,
of embarrassed
can
Mustafa
I
Ali.
be honest though? While we're talking fantasy booking, bruh, Bobby Lashley versus Gunther,
Whew.
bruh,
That's what I thought was about to happen.
bruh. Give me that match any fucking day of the week you want to. I will watch that fucking match,
That match would be wild.
bruh.
Yo, the way he threw Mustafa Ali, Bobby Lashley, I laughed so hard. And I'm like,
I'm
no,
honest,
don't bury him like this.
honestly,
This is
you can
hilarious.
give me more Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins right now.
Honestly,
I fucked
it
with
worked.
that. I thought that could have been a fucking amazing feud. Like I
Well,
feel
we
like
didn't
they
talk about that
wasted.
last week.
I was gonna say I feel like they wasted that fucking interaction. It could have been something super. I mean, it was super dope.
We had that horrible ending to Raw 2 weeks ago that everybody admit was terrible.
It was bad.
But it ended up taking care of a. It's like he sacrificed his ending to take care of a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he tied up a lot of loose. Listen to Zelmay, the continuity. He loves some fucking continuity, so he was okay. He was like,
it was
"You can
terrible
shit
to
on the
watch.
story to tie up these loose ends for me."
It was so messed up. It made everybody look stupid, bad, horrible. But at the end of the day, he got everything he wanted. The 24/7 belt title is gone in that same Raw. Austin Theory finally he stopped doing the cell phone gimmick, which I called to her because once Logan Paul did that on the thing, you cannot do it no more.
Right. Logan killed that gimmick. Once he actually did it, and that, like you said, that shit for real went viral. Like, you can't do it no more. Your 5,000 like posts on Twitter compared to the fucking million impressions on fucking Logan Paul. He just stole your gimmick, buddy. I'm sorry. It's gimmick infringement. But bruh, 37 million views. That's
37 million.
He took your gimmick, bruh.
And
he Alexa Bliss your Bray Wyatt.
And everything that he said in that promo made sense. But hey, listen. The only 2 times that Roman didn't have the bloodline with him, Tyson Fury knocked me out. And Brock Lesnar took it. So Roman's untouchable. Because the bloodline ain't gonna be away like that from now on. For the next 6 months.
They ain't going overseas no more where the Usos can't be.
That's what I'm saying. So that ain't gonna be here.
The international shows are done for a little while.
That's what I'm saying. So the only 2 times I had a chance was when Brock Lesnar killed everybody on the bloodline. So that was my chance. And then in the UK when they couldn't go, Tyson Fury knocked me out. I have no other chance. Of course I win. And then Dolph Ziggler came up and he repeated words that Kevin Owens said. Tori, no, I love continuity. He was like, I'm tired of people saying I can't do something. So let me go out there and prove it then. Literally words from Kevin Owens. I'm like, okay, he going back to it. And he showed vision. I'm like, and everybody in there like, this the Austin
for a good callback, y'all.
He literally said, and then everybody in there said, I can be with this Austin Theory. Everybody in there, Gerald. I'm like, okay.
That Austin Theory promo was fire.
They said some people like he saved his career off there. I'm like, This was what Triple H wanted.
That's
You know
what,
it.
yeah.
It's
He took
how he
it.
should have
Yeah,
been treated to begin with, if we're going to keep it
exactly.
real.
Yeah.
Austin Theory's another one of those young stars that Austin Theory is 25 years old, bro. That nigga's got a long, and he's not injury prone like that.
Mm-hmm.
He
You can
destroyed Dolph Ziggler, which was a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
amazing sign because he trashed him like no question about it.
And then he went out there and took care of Seth to end the night. I'm like, okay, you look like a dude that could be a champion
He
now.
brought the
Not
juice.
some dude that do selfies every time. You like a dude like
Yeah.
hold the belt. And I'm like, he had the belt up. I'm like, okay, that Austin Theory looked
It's
like a
kind
champion.
of it's kind of fucked up though because I feel like bro coming in as Vince McMahon's protege, low key should have made him the way we thought it was gonna, and they just utterly and
I
totally
like Triple
dropped the
H first,
ball.
even though he had to sacrifice a show to do it.
Bro, he had to get,
Hey.
bro. He failed a cash in on the United States Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Not even on the Universal. And I understand.
It was an open challenge. He could have just accepted
He
the
could have.
challenge.
Exactly.
But again,
He didn't have to use he didn't even
Mm-hmm.
have to use the briefcase. But if that's what it takes for me to get a serious Austin Theory, if we can go,
that's what I said too. That's what I said that too.
fuck it, bro.
If I had to take a
He's
bad
got
raw
so
that I
many
didn't
more
understand,
years that fucking if they use him right, fucking this failed briefcase cash in will literally just be a footnote in the history this kid could make. And I'm not even like, bro.
Mm-hmm.
There's so
he
much
been putting
amazing
on banger
talent in
matches
wrestling
the last
right
few
now.
Raws. His matches has been amazing.
Winner, his match is not amazing though.
That's what I'm saying.
When is an Austin Theory match not good, regardless of
But now he
who
got a
he's up
character
against?
that I can get behind too. So I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Trips, you fixed it. Even though I'm admit it, everything he did was stupid. But
All
you
of
can say
it.
he was overzealous.
Oh,
You can say you can book him as
He's
overzealous,
young and
egotistical.
dumb, yo.
Yeah.
You can chalk it all up to young and dumb, and I'm
And
okay with
to
that
tell you
as
the
long
truth,
as he's serious going forward.
I'm not sure if it's that dumb because with
Well, he
Triple H,
could have.
Okay, talk to
He
me.
could have
No,
challenged
wait, no,
anyway.
because
Okay.
I like that because Gerald be having
Okay.
show me the logic in it. I'm here for it, yo.
I mean, Triple H had to get that money in the
Awful. Yeah.
money in the bank
Yeah.
briefcase off of him anyway because that
Okay,
briefcase
I
was
see
a
what
symbol
you're.
of Vince. Yeah.
Would it have been worse? Because I don't think we've ever had anybody's briefcase shot actually expire, and I feel like he was coming up really close on that, where it would have been a year almost. He's had the briefcase, so
What
or
and what
am I wrong?
It'll been
No,
WrestleMania time. That's what
Okay,
it'll be.
and we're almost to the end of the year, so
and it's a lot of theories after that too. Like Triple H dropped that briefcase gimmick, just like he
so
dropped that 24/7 title.
you don't think we're getting Money in the Bank
I
anymore?
think we still
I
gonna
think
get it.
we're gonna
I
get
don't think
money
we're
in the
gonna do it
bank.
the same way.
Yeah, we're gonna get it definitely. But I don't think I got the briefcase, so I'm this person. It changed a lot of people when Braun had it. Oh, I got the briefcase. Liv Morgan. Oh, I got the brief.
Brock
all,
Lesnar
all
still
that.
did it best with
He
the
did it
boom
best,
box. He
and
had
he
the
is an
boom box
athlete.
on his
The boom,
shoulder.
that was tight. But
Top tier.
he wants to get rid of just okay. You got the briefcase, like oh shoot, just everybody waiting to cash it. You drop that. There was no way he was going to be able to cash it on Roman.
He
No,
said,
And
none
and
whatsoever.
the next best, like it just sucked that they decided to do an open challenge the same night. Triple H said, "You know what? We can't do this.
I don't
We
know
can't have him with
because I didn't really think about the whole open challenge aspect all like that. But bro, it's really kind of
he
it
overbooked
makes
it to
it
make it to
stupid.
overdo it.
They completely overbooked
Like
it.
Bobby Lashley just
Definitely.
randomly coming out just destroying people just because he's upset.
I like that though. I'm not gonna
No,
lie.
he gave a good
Bobby
reason. He's
Lashley
like,
trashing boys is something I'm here
Yeah.
but he
for.
gave a good reason to me. But I wish it was on Raw. But he gave a good reason. Like, listen, Brock did it to me,
Yeah.
He
so I
did.
did it to everybody else. Why come
Hey,
I can't do it? I'm like, it makes sense. He's like, I'm gonna destroy everybody until I
he's
get
like the
the belt.
white man came in here and shit on me. It's my turn.
It's my
Okay.
turn. It's my turn.
And then then Austin Theory, I came back out because he tried to do my work,
Mhm.
so I did it to him too. I'm like, it makes sense because he's like, Brock did it to me, I did it to Seth. I didn't care about that belt right now. I'm gonna get it back when I want to, which I think we'll get that triple threat between him, Seth, and Austin. But
which
He's
will be
like,
good because
yeah,
it's
he's
different. I like
Yeah,
different.
I was about to say I'm here for matches that I haven't seen before.
Exactly.
and I'm
Exactly.
pretty sure. And then like we gonna save Brock to WrestleMania, which is going to be our last topic. But I want to go over this before we go because it's the interim titles ruining AEW
Oh
because
my
I feel like
god.
Ooh,
because I don't know one that was good to me. There has not been an interim.
Interim, it's not even AEW. Interim titles are stupid across the board.
across
Except
the
for in boxing and UFC, but they
Okay,
have,
listen,
but
we're
they
talking about
different though.
sports
But they
entertainment.
only have fights 4 to 6 months every year, so you need one temporarily.
I was about to say they're not doing weekly appearances like
right.
wrestlers are. It's
Toni
a whole
Storm has
different
had
thing.
more championship matches than everybody except for Riho, and she is an interim title. And if she loses to Thunder Rosa, it won't count. So she's saying,
Exactly.
so she is saying literally to Tony Khan, listen, if she ain't coming back soon,
Stripper.
you should make my stripper and make me the
Bro, you
official champion.
should have stripped her off the gate.
Hmm. It's
Because
a
if she
third
loses,
day.
it don't count, and she didn't defend it more than everybody except Riho.
How long
And
has Thunder Rosa been out?
A
going on
while.
4 or 5 months, I think,
Yeah,
something like
they don't
that.
know
30
when she's
days.
coming back yet, so that's
Yeah,
the thing.
I was gonna say 60. I was gonna say
60.
60,
60.
60 days. Freaking, if you can't make it back in that, you got to give it up. And
I
it fucks up the precedent because look at what. And I know Punk and everybody was a completely different situation. But for Tony Khan wanting to have this real feeling promotion, I mean, technically, don't you think there should have been an interim champ for the world belt? And then you at least could have done the whole time limit expire. He didn't make it back in this time, so he stripped, and it wouldn't have sounded completely bogus.
this is also my problem. First off, Cody Rhodes got sick with COVID. He missed 2 weeks, and he got time. I'm like, why you just didn't hold off the match for 2 weeks? That doesn't
Thank
make
you.
sense. Then you had Jon Moxley and CM Punk interim title, and then you had to give Jon Moxley the win because to make his title reign mean it instead of having like a fake title reign after he stepped up when CM Punk got hurt. So you knew he had to lose. So you had this stupidly booked match in which he lost because he got
And then
injured.
CM Punk came back and beat up the EVPs.
And then he went and
So
lost the match to CM Punk after he just beat him 2 weeks ago. And you had to book a match when Ace still had to come to the ring and get a title shot when everybody else on the roster should be fighting for this piece of paper. But no one took it from him.
I will never get over that. How the fuck is the world champion sitting there with a contract that anybody can sign
And
and
nobody came out.
nobody fucking came out but Ace fucking Steel?
And nobody even put. I would have
Bruh.
punched Ace in the face for goddamn. A
Nigga,
fan should have just
why
come
didn't
there like, give me
Powerhouse
this.
Hobbs come out and powerbomb fucking Ace Steel and sign the fucking? Why
There
didn't
should be a scatter
anybody?
for that, dog. But
Anybody.
You
but guess what?
locker
You
room
had to
should
give
have
CM Punk the
emptied.
belt back and you had to have him lose 2 weeks before in a squash, and then you had to do this because of an interim title.
Facts.
If you didn't have an interim role and you would have said Jon Moxley won the belt straight up, and then CM Punk come back, you wouldn't need to have that scenario in the first place, and then they would have went to the pay per view and Jon Moxley ran with a counter anyway, and you could have had CM Punk still beat him if despite what happened after. You wouldn't need all that if you didn't have the interim tag.
Hmm.
That's completely true. And I've hated
It puts
interim
you in the corner
titles.
because these people. We all know when Thunder Rosa come back, Toni Storm got to win, right?
Yeah,
Unless you don't want
has
all these
to.
matches
There's
to not count.
no way that Thunder Rosa comes back and actually gets to keep that title. I will, bruh.
There is one way.
You throw the whole
It's
women's
Tony
division
Khan.
away if that happens.
It's
You
Tony
throw
Khan.
that whole
He,
fucking
he
women's
would do
division
that.
away.
So you telling me that you gave her interim title and she's
Bruh,
never gonna be considered
if
a
that
champion
happens,
if she
I
loses?
will never watch an AEW women's wrestling match again. I will fast forward through that shit every rip. I will
But
never watch another one if
it
that is
doesn't
how he
make sense,
does that.
bro. I get in UFC and boxing, you need a champ. You have to have the pay per view sales.
That's a legitimate sport, nigga. This is
Yeah, and it's 4 to 6 months. Each fight 4 to 6 months. So if you out a year, the person only gonna have 2 matches. Toni Storm had like 12 matches, dog. It won't count. No, if
and
you
she's
have one
had some
fight or two
amazing.
fights,
And I hate it because I honestly I feel like Jamie Hayter. You could put the belt on that ass and fucking she might carry the promotion.
she carrying the women's division. She the only one to wrestle every Wednesday.
I was about to
Nobody else
say
wrestles.
Jamie Hayter has been consistently good since she has. And Britt Baker, I don't give a fuck about Britt Baker versus Saraya. I don't give two fucks about that.
That's hard to.
That shit, bro. Why is Britt Baker cutting a babyface fucking promo? Why is she cutting a babyface promo against a bitch that just came back from a fucking supposed career-ending injury? Where does that make sense?
Everybody confused. Everybody in the AEW fan base is
Bro,
confused.
I didn't know what to fucking say as I was watching that. I was like, isn't she a heel? Why? Like, what are we fucking doing here?
And then, like I said, interim titles is a terrible idea. Jerry, you got anything else to say before we go in our WrestleMania fantasy booking and then match of the week?
Interim titles suck. All the titles in AEW right now suck.
Let's go. Agreed.
I mean, from the heavyweight, I don't even know who the secondary like. And what Tony Khan has forgot is your secondary champion is the secondary champion, so you can elevate them to the heavyweight champion.
How's Jade Cargill the only champion with a credible run right now?
The only one in the
and it's getting less credible the more that fucking Nyla Rose is running around fucking I stole her belt. I just watched Jade Cargill go on the Breakfast Club and sit there and say how she was carrying around a replica title because fucking Nyla Rose had hers. Bruh, what are we doing? It's like he's trying to discredit the only credible piece of work that he's given me to observe so far.
And it's sad.
And I hated Jade to begin with when it first started. And he's actually booked her as a credible champion.
Yes. That's his best booking.
Period.
And she's on the Breakfast Club, and that's mostly because she's a star in herself. It ain't even nothing Tony done.
She only did 30 minutes though, but I mean, it was a good look for her. It might get Tony a couple more pay-per-view buys, but it sounded stupid as fuck, her sitting there saying she was carrying a replica because this bitch stole hers. Like this, and then Charlemagne, he was like, "Does your winning streak come to an end this Saturday?" I was like, "Damn." Charlemagne's like, bruh, what if Nyla Rose beats Jade on Saturday? What if Nyla Rose beats Jade tomorrow?
Then
fantasy book your way out of that. Once he tanks the only championship that's credible in his whole company. TBS championship's more credible than the women's world championship. You honestly don't even need two belts for that fucking lame ass division.
No, I'll tell you this, and this will be the last thing I'll say. If I was looking at AEW and WWE right now, I would trade Braun Strowman and Dana Brooke for Powerhouse Hobbs and Jade Cargill.
That would be a losing trade on the AEW side.
It would.
We would get at least those two would get amazing booking.
Great.
In the WWE, like Powerhouse Hobbs and Jade. If Tony Khan can book Jade Cargill good, Gabe Sapolsky and Triple H could fucking take her to that Sasha Banks level. Like,
honestly, would be right there.
Yeah. And we got some WrestleMania fantasy booking we're gonna end the show with, and then we're gonna do match of the week. Apparently Stone Cold and John Cena is scheduled to be at WrestleMania 39, and people are saying face each other night 1, Roman and Rock night 2, fantasy booking.
That could be the biggest. That could be the biggest WrestleMania of all time.
All time, it would top.
If you give me John Cena versus Stone Cold on night 1 and The Rock versus Roman Reigns on night 2, you win wrestling.
Honestly, there is no way to beat that.
There ain't no way around it. Outside of you giving me a night 3 and then switching the opponents around, you ain't getting no better. Give me Roman Reigns versus Stone Cold and John Cena versus The Rock again. I'll take it. That's the only way you get better than that is if you give me a night 3 and then they do like a losers elimination match and they each face each other. Bruh. Outside of that, but does it take away? And I'm not saying, because me personally, you can give me Stone Cold 2 years in a row, but do you take away from what he did with Kevin Owens if he comes back the next year and does it with John Cena?
I thought that, and then I realized that I felt like it was a return more so than just a one-off.
If there was a return,
It's only because he looks so good.
yeah, he
That's
looks
what I'm
great.
saying. It
But
felt
you
more
gotta
like a
think,
return. Like he
he
can
had,
still do this. If he
think
looked
about,
old, I would have
yeah.
been like, yeah. But since he looked
Stone
like he
Cold
can go,
he still damn near looks the same if
listen,
we're gonna
Kevin
keep it a
Owens can
stat.
always brag for the rest of his life that he main evented a WrestleMania with Stone Cold. I
But
don't think it
it
takes
was
away.
it was I don't know, it was a way bigger brag that he had Stone Cold's last match.
Yeah,
But it is, but still, I main evented WrestleMania with Stone Cold. It's still a.
Yeah,
If I took,
that's
my dream.
if I
far
had
more than a
nothing, I would
humble
take that.
flex.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I made a bit. That's probably a childhood dream anyway. I didn't even think
Bruh,
about the last match. I
that
just
that is
knew that.
that is any kid that grew up watching
You
wrestling
know
in
what I'm
the
saying?
'90s dream. Like, who? I guarantee you, everyone in this podcast right now has thought of that exact same thing. Them versus Stone Cold at any wrestling match.
I even said I'll take the first entry, the jobber entrance. I just want to hear that glass break while I'm in the ring.
Yeah, bro, I don't even care. I will stand in the ring. You ain't gotta give me no music, nothing. I will sell the shit out of the stunner.
I'm gonna get so hyped when that glass break and that crowd go crazy because despite the people were talking about how Cody Rhodes got the more internet views and the internet talk, when that glass broke, that
Bruh,
crowd erupted like higher
next
than even
level.
Cody Rhodes or anybody else. I don't think people believed it. The reason it wasn't on the internet and all that because I don't think people believed it till it happened.
Yeah, it was a big like.
When that glass breaks, I don't know what it is. That glass break, people lose their
Bruh,
shit.
I low key think it was some mind control shit, and they conditioned us as children with those
yeah.
amazing matches. And now,
Mhm.
whenever we hear that glass break, we are conditioned to
I don't
pop.
care what
It
Stone Cold.
is
Stone
what
Cold
it is.
can visit the White House with a bunch of rich elite people. If they were born, they 30 some years old, they will pop.
Hey, hey, real quick
Like little
on the
children.
Stone Cold tip, because that was part of my childhood too, and he in my top five favorites.
Gotta be.
But outside of Bret Hart and The Rock, were the matches really that good? We haven't talked about
No,
our
no,
attitude
but
era.
he brought an aura to those matches
Oh
to where
yeah,
he
him
didn't have to do the most.
he
He could
didn't.
But
give you
he
those
had a lot of
simple
injuries too,
kicks
so
and punches. Yeah, dude broke
Yeah,
his neck twice. I mean, that's just bad
his
luck.
match was all. It's like the Rock match
we
with
got
Hulk Hogan. That match was if you cut
terrible.
the crowd off the Rock versus Hulk Hogan, cut the crowd off. You like
But
this is terrible. But if
I
you
give
play with the crowd, Tori,
it
you're
is
gonna be like
different.
this the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my
But
life.
I give Stone Cold credit for his ringmaster run and all the
Yeah,
stuff he
he
did
did
with
that.
Ted
Oh yeah,
DiBiase. Him
man.
and we ain't gonna act like him and Brian Pillman as the Hollywood Blondes were an amazing tag
Great tag,
team, and
great
they
tag.
had one of the dopest feuds of the '90s afterwards. I mean, freaking what was it? Brian's got a gun. You know what I mean, bruh,
It got edited.
I,
That's funny.
bruh.
I think they said that was a 30-year thing happened, and then Brian Pillman Jr. like this is the most traumatic, crazy bald man came in my house and shot at my father.
I was upset.
Crazy.
Like,
I'll never forget
kayfabe
that
not
shit.
dead. That's what I'm doing. Kayfabe
That's
not
when
dead.
you know wrestling was wild. When niggas started kicking in that that shit is why we have shit like TNA booking is moments like that. That's why
TNA
niggas
is
be
fun. I
getting.
don't know what to say. It's
You're the only you are one of the only 100,000 people that are like TNA is
Right.
so much fun, man.
yo listen.
I
It's
like the
filmed
best.
on an iPhone camera, but it is fun.
It,
It is terrible.
I'm like,
bruh,
why do your camera look like
there
this?
was a nigga with a treetop casino gimmick. What the fuck is a treetop casino gimmick,
Truth about
nigga? That
casino.
sounds like some shit from Saturday morning cartoons when we were kids. Nigga
This
runs the
ain't
treetop.
NWA in the mud, dog.
Oh, NWA is down bad. Billy
Bad.
Corgan is down super. Tyrus as a champion is the stupidest shit ever. Don't even get me started. I was damn. You almost had me down for Trevor Murdoch, even though why you wouldn't keep Nick Aldis as your champion is beyond me.
But he's
But
leaving now, so
Oh yeah, he gone.
yeah,
he's
he's gonna
suspended
be
everything.
amazing in WWE or AEW. More
But
amazing in WWE though.
but Gerald, do you agree, Gerald, that if you cut the sound off in Hulk Hogan versus The Rock is an absolutely atrocious match?
We
I think
we have to have a separate conversation about our attitude era And because wrestling right now is the best where it's been. This era is the best wrestling in
But I
ring.
don't think the characters
Okay,
is
best
open enough.
in-ring wrestling.
Best in
I'll
ring
agree.
Yeah.
wrestling. Yeah,
Storylines, it's a little
it's
iffy.
right
Yo,
here.
I saw the Big Boss Man carry the Big Show's dead daddy coffin
Yo,
away.
drug his coffin
Drug
out of
his
the
coffin
You
out
will
of
graveyard.
never match this energy.
Mm-mm.
Bruh, Triple H and his necrophilia with Kane's girlfriend,
Mhm.
Oh
bruh.
yeah, I put that in
Yeah.
the group chat today. Kane brought it
Mhm.
up in the Survivor Series. Didn't you make out with a
Yeah,
mannequin that you said was my dead girlfriend? And you're like, sorry about that.
yeah.
I mean,
Like,
Oh, then we got Logan Paul coming again at
see, and
WrestleMania. He's
that's
supposed to be healthy by then.
I wanna
yeah.
add two more
Quickest MCL tear
They said it
in
wasn't.
life.
His brother
recovery
said it
ever.
wasn't MCL. They said it's an MCL, not an ACL. So you can come
Oh,
back for
okay.
4 months. If it's an MCL, you can come back in 4 months.
And I want to add two more fantasy bookings right now. One tonight, one and one tonight two. I don't care where they at. Just like Tora said, I want the Paul brothers versus the Usos, and I want Bobby and Brock 3. And I don't care.
I hate that the Paul brothers versus the Usos sounds like it could be a super good
That's gonna
match.
be so nice.
If Jake Paul learns how to throw a working punch,
Yeah.
because
And
that shit looked a little. I mean, the hype was pure amazingness, but we're wrestling critiques here. So I mean, if you're throwing I call out Stone Cold when he throws a shitty punch. I'm not calling out Jake Paul for it.
oh yeah.
Hey.
Call out Shane McMahon too. He
Oh,
Yeah.
Shane
Yeah,
McMahon
but
he
Shane
throws
made up
shoot
for it,
punches
though.
that's supposed to be working.
I was gonna say Shane throws shoot punches, but he also makes up with it by willing to jump off of anything that is over 15
and hurt
feet
himself.
high.
Yeah.
What Chris Jericho say there? Hey man, calm down. Stop playing.
Yeah, and then hit that nigga with a drop kick to the face, a
Mhm.
shoot drop kick. I was like,
He
if
said, I
that's
don't know
how
why this man punching me so hard. Any other fantasy booking y'all want to do in the comments? Anybody? Any match you really want to see? What y'all think? People coming. If people coming back, you got some chance. Who does Cody Rhodes face? Do you do Seth Rollins again? Even though both of them are faces now.
I think you run back Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt and do it right.
Do it right.
But who do you have win? Man, I don't want Bray as the. I take that back because I don't want Bray as the United States champion. I don't see Bray as a. If you can't put the big belt on Bray, he's not a mid card belt guy in my
But
opinion.
when he had to be on somebody on SmackDown, who was SmackDown?
Oh yeah, true that.
Gunther
Oh, Bray and Gunther would go crazy at
would
WrestleMania.
go stupid. Gunther so
I can see Gunther be like, "I'm not afraid of no ghosts."
But I ain't gonna lie.
It's so
You
different.
throw the German accent on that,
Mhm.
you can have a T-shirt. You
You
can have a
think I'm
T-shirt.
Oh, who does
That'd be
Sheamus
so
go against too? You got Sheamus.
Yeah, you got
Bro,
them.
I hate it. I don't want to see
SmackDown
Sheamus
got
fight
some.
nobody but Drew McIntyre.
That's what I was thinking. Him and
Bro,
Drew.
I hate to say it. Him and Drew be putting on those matches that are just like aesthetically pleasing to me, and I can just. It's one of those matches that I'll throw on in the back. Like it's good enough to like I can throw it on in the background, and I'll watch that shit.
They call them wrestling soulmates. It's them two, Sammy and KO, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano.
The Undertaker and HBK, yo.
Yeah, wrestling
That's
soulmates.
bro.
I hope Tommaso can come back by then too. And if you give me Tommaso and Gargano on night one of WrestleMania,
Fuck that, because if we're gonna do that, you might as well give us the 6-man tag with the Paul brothers versus the Usos versus DIY. And go ahead and fuck it. If we throwing shit, Nick, give me that.
it's fantasy booking. You do it. Let's go. I would love to watch
that would be that would be an amazing match.
Logan would probably break every bone in his body trying to come up for Jake, but he would literally throw himself. He said on his show, by the way, if y'all ain't watched the Impulsive Power, he literally said, "Listen, I know I my knee up, but I'll do it again." He said, I told Triple H, every match, I promise you, you're going to get the same type of match because I'm going to give it my all. And I'm like, I respect it. Listen.
Yeah.
You
respect it until a nigga ends up breaking something more than a torn ACL, or because we ain't gonna stunt like people haven't had that exact same thought process and for real left it all in the ring.
I don't think Triple H gonna ever let them get that far. The agents ain't gonna let them
No,
go too
Triple
crazy.
H.
Now, if he was in Indies, I would be like, oh my God, please slow down.
Yeah. Hey, Logan Paul and GCW. I just watched Joey Janela freaking skewer his cheek from cheek to cheek, like for real, skewer it through on the
I seen the dude be
GCW
hit
in
with that
Japan
light
too.
pole, and his whole shoulder was like cut off like this. I'm
Oh,
like, what are y'all doing over
Nick
there?
Gage almost died when they freaking he got hit
Y'all
with the
need,
light bulbs and that sliced the artery in his arm. That
yeah,
nigga
like,
almost died.
I'm like, y'all gotta chill on all this stuff, bro. I think that's why Tony Khan saw all this and like,
That's
Jon
why
Moxley, you can't go over there.
I refuse to watch female matches in GCW just because bruh, I don't like seeing chicks bleed all like that. Like I can get behind like watching, and I know that might sound misogynistic to
Oh,
everybody,
yeah, they
but
got an excuse for that. They crazy.
yeah, but
I
I'm
don't
just
like it either.
like the only time that I thought blood was cool in a girls match was Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa, but it was just the air. Like looking back at it now, I don't think it was as dope as it was in the moment. But the moment when you were watching them two bitches put on one of the sickest hardcore matches that we'd seen in a good long time, I mean, it was
Hey,
definitely a
over
moment.
under that Jon Moxley and Britt Baker bleed.
Oh, I feel like they are having a competition to who can bleed better on a pay-per-view. And Jon Moxley got to take some more aspirin. He got to
if
take some more
Dustin
Tylenol.
Rhodes was in here, he would
Oh,
100% win, but he don't get
yeah.
enough TV time no more. So
I think that might be because Dustin's getting older and he's had
now
some
that
amazing matches, but it
Tori,
might
let's
be
be
time
honest.
to.
Tori, let's be honest. Cody ain't that no more. He ain't no
I was trying to be nice about it. I was trying not to look like an
Jared, let's be
AEW
honest.
hater,
Jared,
but
am I
that was
lying? Cody ain't there. He like, yo, I ain't got no use for you no more. You just here
yeah,
for cause
it
Cody,
is
but
true.
you make
He
Cody
can
happy.
be an amazing backstage coach, though. I mean,
He'd
we
be a
know
great
he
coach.
owns a wrestling school, and I mean, we ain't gonna act like he didn't get Gold Dust over, which is, I mean, that's a testament to fucking
Yeah.
character work. Because Gold Dust in any era probably shouldn't have gotten over, and wouldn't
And
have
the
gotten
slightest.
over if it wasn't Dustin Rhodes.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say this. Can I speaking of that before we get out here with the match of the week, Corey Graves said under the last era, I have to show respect to the Usos because our old boss hated tag team wrestling.
He
But no
did.
matter what,
Hmm.
somehow he knew if all else failed, I could put the Usos out there and magic was gonna happen.
As long as they
Even
aren't getting pulled over for a DUI on the way there. You can count on them as long as you make sure you got a
Man.
direct route.
after
Yeah,
that,
you're
we gonna
right.
give y'all matches of the week. Who y'all women's match of the weeks? We'll do
uh,
2 weeks since we ain't been on 2 weeks.
I don't have any women's matches of the week, but I will. I want to give matches of the week to fucking Death Triangle versus Top Flight and AR Fox on Dynamite. As dead as that fucking crowd was, that might have been one of the best 6-man matches that they've had in AEW to date. Like that match was amazing. Everybody killed it. AR Fox got a freaking contract out of the deal. We'll probably only ever see him on Dark again, but at least we got this match to remember him by.
ooh,
True. Gerald, who your match of the week?
Ricochet versus Mustafa Ali right now.
But hey, I can get behind that because that's guaranteed to be gold.
They're having a pretty good one so far. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
hold you. It's very intense. That backbreaker that Mustafa Ali just did on
Just
Ricochet
did.
was insane.
Yeah. I was
Bruh,
thinking something else, but I
he
just saw.
hits those technical moves so good, it's not even
That's
fun.
that's that's what I was wanting to say to you, Tori, because they do remind me of Ray, but they're more technically sound than
Oh,
Ray.
way
It's
more.
so crazy.
They
I
got
think
some
the
more
thing Ray
events
had
than
on there
Ray
was
though
Ray can
too,
tell a
bro.
story when in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ray can sell you a ticket, dog. You be like, this little man gonna do it, and you're like, go,
he's a
go,
draw,
go.
bro.
Hmm. Yeah.
That is what it is.
Yeah. It's more like the storytelling. It's like Will Ospreay doing the flipping thing, except for, of course, Ray will sell you a whole story with it.
Ooh, they is throwing out this match of the week right here.
Hey, but they getting time. We had the Sami Zayn promo and then this. So that's what we had. So this is gonna be. But Taya Valkyrie and Maddie had the women's match of the week for me.
I'm gonna believe you if you say that because Taya
Man.
Valkyrie is consistently good.
Yeah. I will say one more WrestleMania fantasy booking for me would be Charlotte versus Bianca.
Again? Or we didn't get that? Did we
No,
get it?
she going through the big four, and she done went through Becky and Sasha at WrestleMania. So everybody
Okay,
wants
yeah,
Bailey,
yeah.
But she didn't fought
Bruh,
Bailey
I
so much
want
this year
Bailey.
that
I
they
want
want
Bailey
Charlotte.
to beat Bianca so bad. I can't even stand. Put the belt on Pam
Bro,
sexy
Bianca
ass.
is
Just
hot
do
right
it.
now, Tori. I don't know.
She's not as hot as Bailey though.
Tori, she got TV shows, movies, films.
Nigga, I'm talking about
He's
physically
talking,
hot, not wrestling hot. And Bianca Belair is beautiful, but Pam got an ass on her.
There's something about her.
Bruh.
I ain't gonna lie. When
Hey, I know Aaron Solo got to kick himself every day at AEW. How you dropped the ball with Bailey, nigga? You failed.
Mm-hmm.
No. That chokehold Mustafa Ali doing is sick, Jared.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
I might agree with Jared. This match is going crazy right now.
This match going nuts.
How was it not gonna be though?
That's
and
true.
They get time. That's all.
Mustafa Ali versus Buddy Murphy on cruiserweight, whatever that was one of the best matches I ever seen. That no disqualification.
Bro, the whole cruiserweight classic was just full of amazing matches. One of the most underrated match of all time, freaking Kota Ibushi versus Brian Kendrick, yo. That was the sickest match in the Cruiserweight Classic. I talk about that shit entirely too much.
And see, I like that one. Kota versus Cedric for me was beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But Kota Ibushi versus Kota's another one, bruh. What if Triple H brought in Kota Ibushi? Give me that fantasy, bruh. Kota Ibushi versus Seth Rollins, nigga.
That's woof.
Bruh.
Woof.
Oh my god, that suplex was nasty. And that he hit him with that lariat. But
them niggas too skinny for lariats.
Ricochet is acting a little bit more evil. I kind of like this.
Hey, put a mask back on Ricochet and you could take him to the moon. That nigga's face is just too plain. If you go back to when he was King Panther or whatever he was on the Indies, he was so much more better until we saw, because he fucked up. If he'd have been bald when he first took the mask off, we'd have been cool. But that nigga, his hairline was way back. I'll never forget about that.
Yo, SmackDown always consistently so good. I'm like, bruh.
Well, it's the perfect amount of time on a Friday night. It's not super long and drawn out like Raw. It's not shittily booked like Dynamite. It's not fucking non-existent like Rampage. It ain't got a lot of competition.
Rampage on TV. Like
Rampage is a glorified YouTube show.
They asked Warner what they want, and then they basically just said, "Hey, listen, we just gonna make a reality TV show. We're not gonna put another wrestling show out. We're gonna make reality TV. We don't need all that." But
yeah,
I think Gerald might be right. This is looking like the match of the week too. But even though that's gonna count toward next week, so it's gonna be the match of the week next week too.
I don't know, man. Maybe we'll get MJF could surprise everybody tomorrow. MJF versus Mox.
I thought you'd be tired of Jon Moxley's style, Tor.
I'm so tired of Jon Moxley, but I love MJF. I'm beyond tired of Jon Moxley.
This match is going crazy. But I recommend y'all all watch this match. It's really incredible. We got to get out of here. I do appreciate y'all.
Did you see that finish?
I ain't got to it yet. I'm behind. I'm online, so I ain't on.
You good.
I appreciate y'all. Tor, where can they find you?
You already know Afrocomedy 765 on everything. Of course, you can catch me here on Overall 99 Media, being an Overall 99 scumbag multiple days a week. Y'all know the vibe.
A standing moonsault is what Gerald's talking about.
And it was
beautiful. It was beautiful.
Ricochet got the juice on any flippies.
Yeah, so that was a great match, by the way.
Okay. Yeah.
People was upset. They thought Mustafa Ali was gonna win, but Ricochet won. So I don't see.
There ain't no way. Ricochet should go over Mustafa Ali, but Mustafa Ali definitely deserves to run that.
But Mustafa also got beat up on Raw, and he was selling it. So
Yeah, he was selling a
he got
lot.
an excuse. So it's good booking, really.
Yeah, so he still got that man.
Let's
Because Bobby
go.
Lashley is a menace to society. Jared, when
Yeah.
they can find you?
Um, I gotta look it up. G Hicks 44, but don't follow me and don't talk to me.
There you go.
We got next coming up in next week or 2 weeks from now. It probably next week. It'll be Ricochet and Braun Strowman. I think Ricochet is gonna beat Braun Strowman because Triple H gonna let a flippy dude beat him.
Oh,
They
that's
make-
a good
hey,
storyline.
They are putting Braun Strowman through hell. They were like, "Nigga, you want to control your own narrative. You got nigga, you got to take some losses when you
They said he got
get
some
back."
heat in the backstage, so I'm figuring that he's gonna probably lose
I
to
mean,
Ricochet.
he was talking crazy shit on a failing promotion that none of us will remember.
Is this
2
Sheamus?
years.
No, it's Sammy versus Pete Dunne. Okay.
Yeah, Sheamus got the next matchup is Pete Dunne versus
Sami
Sami
Zayn.
Zayn.
Yeah, and then the winner will face Santos Escobar, which
Bruh.
he just got an it factor about him.
Yeah, I love Santos Escobar. He is what Andrade could have been if Andrade could speak English.
Yep, I agree with
Who
that.
y'all got winning? Who y'all got win this whole thing?
Gunther.
You get the World Cup trophy. Now you get the title.
I was about to say, I thought you meant who was going. It's more the Intercontinental title at the end, ain't it? I mean, I don't see any of these niggas beating Gunther, but I think almost any of them could put on an amazing match with them because that's just all Gunther. But I want to see Ricochet versus Gunther again. I know we've seen that before, but I think that could be amazing. But I don't, bruh. No, fuck that. Santos Escobar versus Gunther slaps harder than Ricochet versus Gunther. I'm gonna tell you
what would be.
So Santos Escobar for the W.
Sammy wouldn't be bad for the W either.
Yeah. Bro. He should get, bruh. If Sammy brings gold to the bloodline before Solo does.
But hold on. But if he lose and Pete Dunne, and you get Pete Dunne versus Gunther. That already happened.
Run that shit back because that.
Well, we ain't got main roster version. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I tell you,
I wouldn't mind Santos versus Gunther, but they both heel, so they probably gonna do it.
Yeah, they probably won't do heel versus heel. But man, that kind of sucks because I feel like Legado del Fantasma versus Imperium could slap too.
Big meaty man slapping meat. Braun versus Gunther.
Brian lose to a flippy dude.
Yeah, and plus Gunther would make Braun look so horrible in the ring because Braun Strowman, he's big and he's okay in the ring, where Gunther is big and fucking phenomenal in the ring.
Anybody. That's the only reason why I would want to see it because I haven't seen Gunther face somebody who's really like on his level.
I used to think Gunther versus Keith Lee was one of my, but now Keith Lee done got too big. He's not as quick as he used to be, and Gunther's smaller now, so I don't think it would hit the same.
We already gave our outros, but yeah, SmackDown first 30 minutes was amazing. The Bloodline is upset that Sammy's speaking for them when they don't know who the fifth member is or nothing like that. And rumor is Kevin Owens will probably be at SmackDown tonight to be the fifth member of the other team, which will be.
And we got Full Gear coming tomorrow.
Yeah, so it's a lot of stuff coming. We're gonna talk about Full Gear tomorrow. The card, amazing, but people don't seem hyped for it. There's like if you showed me that on paper, I'm like, this card
was supposed to beat CM Punk for the belt, yo. That was where the money story was at. But MJF's money either way, so I think that's gonna be
I think he got to do something heelish to win tomorrow. The crowd is definitely not.
If fans aren't feeling a babyface win, I will boo MJF. If he wins,
you can already sense the fans like, nah, dog, babyface ain't working for you.
Yeah, you can't call yourself the devil and then be nice enough to correct the guy in the ring. Fuck that. You should have let him flail.
Like, I'm the devil.
I would have said it's Sunday, and he would just kept going Sunday.
Sunday.
Don't show up tomorrow and I'll forfeit and give me the belt.
That would be fire. That's a real heel move.
That's a heel.
It's Sunday. Don't show up.
Trick the nigga out of his position, literally.
He didn't show up to work. He forfeited the match. I
I
win the
would
belt.
say, give it to me.
He told that man the day of. Like, no, I would told you the opposite day. That's a heel move right there.
Yeah, that was that.
You think Triple H would have
That's
told
what.
you the day? Triple H did some sick things, by the
No,
way.
Triple H would have told you a completely different week.
You know what day it is? You were in trouble. But all right, we about to get out of here. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know how we got to end it with one simple question. One day you will find out.
Who are these niggas?